You know, a big crowd, but not a lot of space, particularly in the first half.
Yeah, I thought Ulster started the game much better than we did. Literally right from the kick-off and had us trapped in our own end for first 20 minutes and eventually get in for a try. So that Greg Jones takes well. So we were just defending too much really. And then when we didn't exit particularly well, and then in the probably second half of the first half, like we had some decent chances up their end, but again, didn't quite nail some of our execution around set piece. Turned the ball over cheaply, and Ulster would just whack it down this end of the field. Second half, I thought we started much better, much brighter, a bit better intensity into the game, and we actually get back into the game okay, but disappointing probably the last 10 minutes. Even when the score goes to 10-all, but there's 15 minutes in the clock, and then we don't exit well. Ulster get a penalty from the line out, and then we just looked a bit frantic in the last 10 minutes after that. So. Frustrating. Thought Ulster, they fronted up well, nice and physical both sides of the ball, and were probably just a little bit sharper across the board in the contact areas. So, frustrating viewing for us. Players are disappointed with themselves inside there, that we couldn't deliver better for what was a big crowd out there today. So, it's a frustrating day for us.
And was there a bit of juggling trying to give players time after that break,
we were always worried going into this game for sure. Always going to be a bit disjointed this week, and next week will be a challenge as well. So we have a number of guys that had a break this week, are going to come back in now next week, and it's a short week. And Connacht are riding high at the moment. Obviously, they put a big score on that Ulster team, and they put a big score on Ospreys last night. So they're clearly in form, playing well, and they've a good cohesive group that are generally together for the majority of the year. So and that's the challenge for us, trying to get that cohesion, and we've a very short lead into the game again, so it won't be easy for us. So we've got to work hard in the short amount of time that we have, and try and set ourselves up and get a bit of positive momentum then next week, which will lead into Europe then the following week. So the games are big, and it's winter rugby as well, so you need to be ready for some of the contacts involved in the game now. So, which we probably weren't good enough today.
Was it essentially that during your purple patches during the game tonight, that there was some of the plays you had where players were trying to force things a little bit too much?
Yeah, timing wise, we were off. Yeah, so again, we started slow, a little bit sluggish out the blocks, and then when we were chasing the game, we're just we're trying a little bit too hard at times. So overrun a few plays. Just snatching at certain things at different stages. So we way too many unforced errors during the course of the game, and way too many penalties, which are just us trying a little bit too hard at different stages. So it just lacks cohesion and composure across the board.
And was it difficult over the last few weeks not having real game time?
It certainly feeds into it, but like every team is in the same situation. So. Obviously there's a fair few moving parts with our group, but we're not making any excuses there. Like everyone's in the same situation, so we need to be better, and we just need to focus on ourselves first.
Well, the pressure on you for next week, so if there's some Connacht to going well, as you said, so it's probably very important to put this behind you and get back to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we always have pressure here. We want to have pressure on ourselves to perform, particularly at home, and that's a disappointing thing. With a good crowd here, it's a derby game, and we just didn't give as good as we have really. I think there's definitely more in us, and that's the frustrating piece for us. But credit to Ulster. I thought they fronted up well and deserved their win.
And like the fact that we played this fast, expansive game, you're moving the ball around that speed, and if you're kind of forcing it a bit, which it appeared towards the end, and that breakaway try. James Hume appeared to be the ball was being maybe passed too quickly or whatever, but
Yeah, it's just that trying a bit too hard and like forcing things. Whereas we need to have a bit more trust in the system and trust in each other that we'll create opportunities. So rather than guys individually trying to force things, but that's the learning for some of our guys now. I thought we had a good mix of some experienced guys out there with some young players as well. So frustrating one for us.